Across the globe, in our bustling cities, people simply vanish from memory. They turn up in hospitals, hurt and confused, with no idea who they are. They carry no ID. No family comes looking. No one ever claims them. The case of the girl from the S-Bahn is just one of countless stories where someone appears from nowhere, unable to remember their own name, their past, or how they got there. These mysteries have sparked obsessive online investigations, wild theories, and desperate attempts by internet communities to give an identity back to the nameless. This is the story of the unidentified survivors, people caught between the known world and complete anonymity. In the 1990s, a young woman was found on a Berlin S-Bahn train in a state of profound confusion. She was injured, disoriented, and couldn't speak coherently. When questioned, she could provide no information about herself, no name, no address, no family. She had no ID, and her clothes had no labels. Police found no matches for her fingerprints or photos. No missing persons report fit her description. She was admitted to a hospital, and while her physical wounds healed, the psychological mystery deepened. She had complete amnesia. Known only as the girl from the S-Bahn, she existed in a kind of limbo, alive but completely separated from any identity or personal history. The case would eventually spawn decades of online investigation, and she was far from unique. Around the world, hospitals regularly encounter unidentified individuals. In the United States, thousands of John and Jane Does pass through the medical system each year. They're found after car accidents, pulled from water with no memory, or discovered unconscious. Some might be undocumented immigrants, afraid to reveal who they are. Others have genuinely lost their memories to trauma or disease. Still others are runaways who have deliberately cut ties with their past. They are a hidden population, living without the basic anchor of a known identity, unable to access benefits, contact family, or reclaim their lives. They are ghosts in the system. In recent decades, the internet has created a new phenomenon: online communities obsessed with identifying these people. When a case gets attention, internet sleuths mobilize. They analyze photos, cross-reference missing persons reports, and build elaborate theories. Reddit communities like Unresolved Mysteries attract thousands of dedicated amateur researchers. The girl from the S-Bahn became a focal point. Online communities compiled everything known about her, proposing countless theories. Was she from Eastern Europe? A victim of trafficking? Or was she escaping an abusive situation? This digital manhunt was both impressive and chaotic, generating endless speculation, but no definitive answers. One of the most famous cases is the Piano Man, a young man found wandering a UK seaside town, soaking wet and silent. He couldn't or wouldn't speak, but in the hospital, he revealed an extraordinary talent for the piano, playing complex classical pieces. The skills suggested he was educated, maybe from Europe. The internet went wild, analyzing his playing style to guess his nationality. Theories ranged from him being a refugee to a deliberate imposter. For months, he remained a mystery despite global attention. He was eventually identified, but the case showed how online investigations can generate elaborate theories far removed from the simple truth. So what causes someone to lose all memory of their identity? Severe head trauma can damage the parts of the brain responsible for memory. Psychological trauma can also cause the mind to block out an identity as a defense mechanism. Certain drugs, toxins, or severe mental illness can also be the cause. In some cases, amnesia seems to be entirely psychological. The mind has simply chosen to forget. While genuine identity amnesia is rare, for those who experience it, the question is haunting. Will they ever remember who they are? Or are they permanently severed from their past? One compelling theory in many cases is human trafficking. Victims are often isolated, their documents destroyed, and they're psychologically broken. A person found with amnesia could be a trafficking victim whose memory was suppressed or whose past was deliberately erased. Many unidentified survivors are young, a prime target for traffickers, and show signs of trauma. However, proving this requires more than just speculation. The theory highlights the multiple mysteries these survivors represent: a medical puzzle, a legal challenge, and a moral question about their rights and needs. This raises profound ethical and legal questions. Who makes medical decisions for someone with no known family? How can they access long-term care or benefits without a legal identity? What are their rights? Many unidentified individuals occupy a legal limbo. They receive emergency care, but everything else becomes incredibly complicated. Some spend years in hospitals, physically recovered, but trapped by their lack of identity. They become institutionalized, living indefinitely in a facility, disconnected from the world. The Internet has transformed the investigation of these cases. On one hand, online communities have successfully identified people who might have otherwise stayed anonymous. But on the other hand, these investigations can be destructive. False identifications have ruined innocent lives, and wild conspiracy theories often obscure the truth. For the girl from the S-Bahn, Internet sleuths proposed hundreds of theories, many based on nothing but speculation. The sheer volume of noise made it impossible to separate plausible leads from pure fantasy. So, what happens to these survivors in the long run? Some are eventually identified, and their memories return. These are the success stories. But many never find out who they were. They might be given new names by caretakers and build new lives within institutions, making peace with their inaccessible past. For families of the missing, these unidentified individuals represent a painful limbo, the slim hope that they're loved. One is alive, but unable to make contact. The emotional toll is immense. The girl from the S-Bahn and countless others represent a modern mystery. They exist in an administrative and psychological limbo, separated from their identities. Some will be named. Others will not. Their cases reveal something profound. We've created such thorough systems of identification that those without one become ghosts. They exist, but not officially. They speak, but cannot say who they are. The unidentified remind us that identity isn't just a given. It's built through documents, memory, and community. Take those away, and a person is left suspended. In hospitals across the world, there are people whose names remain unknown. People who woke up one day with no memory of who they are. For them, for all the unidentified survivors, the mystery isn't just about finding a name. It's about the fundamental question of identity. Who am I? And what happens when the answer to that question is permanently lost?